What's up, Divine Feminine Collective? Thank you for joining me for your energy reading. My name is Keita. If it's your first time joining me, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are a returning viewer, you know that every now and then I come down here sounding all stuffy and nasally and whatnot. And today is one of those days because my sinuses are acting a fucking fool. I was cleaning my house and I admittedly have let it get too fucking dusty around here. And of course, doing the cleaning, it's dust flying everywhere. And I really need to start putting on a mask, knowing that my sinuses respond to irritants in the air the way they do. But I have taken long enough to bring y'all this energy reading. I did the Divine Masculines weeks ago, and I meant to circle back and do you all's, but all things at divine time. I've just had quite a few things going on, and ultimately I hadn't felt like it. But today, regardless of not physically feeling my best, I still feel like showing up for you all and doing this reading, and I got a lot to share. Prior to starting the reading, I was looking for the page of notes that I have in my notebook, and I kept saying, D'Angelo, rest his spirit. How does it feel? And you know that song is very sexy and talks about intimacy and all of that. But what was coming to mind was, how do y'all feel? How y'all feeling out there? Make sure you check it in with your emotions, with yourself, how you feel. Stay in tune with your star player, because that's important. As divine feminines, we're often showing up for people and giving of ourselves in a way that, you know, we pour from our cup. We know to give from our overflow, but every now and then you got to take an assessment to make sure there's overflow you giving it. It ain't what's coming from your cup, and you ain't on the verge of running on fumes. So take an assessment to see how you feeling, right? So that's a message within itself that I just got, because your feelings matter. You know what I'm saying? Did this work that we do, excuse me, in this work that we do, it's not just about everybody else. As a matter of fact, you're the most important. And you gotta make sure you straight before you start making sure everybody else straight. So make sure that you take your feelings, your emotions into accountability, and also that you require that of other people, that they consider your feelings, and that they honor your feelings, and that they respect your feelings. So lots of downloads, lots of song lyrics. We're gonna talk about it, we're gonna get into it. But the overarching message that's coming through to me is that you are summer in November, darling, and you're unique. You are, somebody feels like you're summer in November, which means you're summer in the fall. You bring that sunshine, you bring that light, you bring the vibrancy, you bring that life force energy at a time where it's getting darker and the sunshine is fading and the leaves are falling and things are naturally being released in our lives. And you bring that sunshine and then those good vibrations into harvest season. So you got that, and it's because of your uniqueness. It's because you're different. It's because the grass is greener on your side, that not just a divine masculine or divine counterpart feels like your summer in November and they value you, but just people you interact with, period. So you all may find yourself being more visible to people. The month of November may very well be very significant at the time that I'm recording this. It is October 27th. And so we just a few days away from November. So there may be something significant about the month of November for you all. But you may be experiencing just people really seeing your light, complimenting your light, valuing your light, and showing up in that way. Know that to everything there is light and there is shadow. So because you're being more visible, you also gonna draw the critters. You know what I'm saying? You gonna draw the moths. You gonna draw the mosquitoes. You gonna draw the flies, because they're gonna be attracted to your light as well. And you gotta be able to discern uh who should be in the huddle and who should be out of the huddle. And that requires being in your high priestess energy, very much tapping into your intuition and letting your intuition lead you, and being mindful, being present, not doing too much, not having too much on your plate, not having too much on your mind to where you're distracted and you can't see what's for you and what's against you, who's for you and who's against you. And in my experience, like, your intuition will tell you how somebody really feel about you out the gate when their actions don't necessarily show it. You know what I'm saying? So they could be very positive and doting on you and always on your line and, breadcrumbing, showing up however they show up, but then they feel the total opposite. And your intuition will tell you. And that is why it's important that we strengthen and prioritize our intuitive knowing. But we're going to circle back to the high priestess energy, because I want to make sure to go by my notes so that I don't miss anything. So yeah, your summer in November, darling. And that message came to me by way of listening to a song by our boy Sir. Sir is a fave over here on the channel. I am finding that so many of his songs are channeled messages, especially on the Twin Flame Journey. But I'm gonna pull up the lyrics to that one, and out the gate, the advice is that knowing that your summer in November, not necessarily knowing that somebody else may feel that way about you, but you knowing it, you need to remain receptive. No matter what you go through, do not close your heart to love, to receiving God's gifts. Keep yourself open to miracles and change happening, and knowing that things are working out in your favor. Don't waste your time, your energy, your resources in paranoia, afraid that things are working and people are working against you. That is a disease. You want to live your life in pronoia, trusting that all things are working in your favor. Just saw 811, because that is very much shifting into abundance consciousness, and that is the thing that's going to open new cycles, and new doors and new opportunities, and help us ascend to new levels. So yeah, y'all. I am going to read the lyrics to your summer in November. And then another thing that this reading is inspired by is the engagement card in the Romance Angels deck, because that card says that your I write it down. Your love life is ascending to a higher level. Now, while I look up the lyrics, I can tell you right now, for some of y'all, you're on a twin flame journey, and it's testing your commitment to the journey, right? Whatever's going on, it's pushing you to your fucking limits. When it comes to staying committed to the journey. And for those of you, it's relative to self-love, but for those of you who are in karmic connections, it is absolutely leading you to ascend to a higher level of self-love, to love yourself enough to make some different decisions, some elevated decisions, and to evolve and grow beyond those toxic unrequited connections. Unrequited meaning that you're not in alignment. It's not for your highest good. Um, so yeah, your love life is ascended to a higher level, and we're needing to surrender to that, to get in alignment with it, to love ourselves more, to be open to loving people in a deeper way, not just surface level love, but really being locked in, rooted and grounded in the love that you say that you have for yourself and or one another. So the song Summer in November was written by Sir in 2018. That year may be significant to some of you. But it says, brought some action to the show, trying to learn me, what you know. Sugar sweet, just how I like. Please appease my appetite. Lit a candle for the vibe, playing Marvin for the mood, getting ready for the ride. This is speaking about intimacy, getting to know one another better, especially sexually, getting active, as the kids say. Y'all know I be subbing, so I get to hear all the latest lingo from the youth, and they definitely use the term getting active. But someone being pleased, sugar sweet, just how I like. So somebody being pleased and wanting more. Please appease my appetite. Like, I'm hungry. Come feed me, you know. Lit a candle for the vibe. That's romance, setting the atmosphere. And it says, never felt a love like yours. Now you're tearing me apart. Doesn't matter where you are. Winter couldn't take your heart. From that, I got like a person that's never experienced love like you show it, like you give it, like they feel it with, from, and for you. It's different. It's I ain't gonna keep apologizing for blowing my nose. Next level shit. You know what I'm saying? But now you're tearing me apart. So it's like taking their armor off and like doing open heart surgery and disarmoring where they once would try to block love or run from love. It's like you're penetrating that whole barrier. Doesn't matter where you are. They feel it whether you together or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a love that stands the test of time and transcends time and space. And I see 555 on my phone as I'm saying this because it is catalyzing catastrophic change in their life. Winter couldn't take your heart. This is somebody who has, either by way of hearing your story or being there to witness it, knows that you've been through some dark times, knows that you've been through winter in your life, and that it did not taint you. It did not steal your thunder. It did not make you bitter, which is a lot of people's story. A lot of the bitter, mean, abusive, calculated people that we meet on our journeys are that way by way of their trauma and how they didn't alchemize that energy. I mean, I ain't knocking it because who teaches us this shit, right? Who's teaching us how to alchemize our experiences for real, for real? But I mean, the information's out there, but it ain't the most popular in certain communities for sure. And if a damn show don't feel good. But when people don't alchemize their pain into purpose or their pain into passion and power, that's the result. They become bitter instead of becoming better. They become disgruntled instead of becoming grateful. They focus too far into the past or too far into the future instead of being present. But this is someone who says, I've watched you go through some of the toughest of shit, and that winter storm, that winter time did not steal your heart, did not take away your heart, did not take away your loving nature. So shout out to all the divine feminines who've and that's all the divine feminists who've been through the storm, who've been through the rain and still emerged even more of their divine feminine self, radiant and sovereign and loving. It says, "Your summer in November, darling. You're something to remember, darling. Oh, I love the look in your eyes as the temperature rises and rises and rises and rises. My Sahara in the snow, singing softer than the wind. I don't know how far we go. I don't know where we begin. But you don't care about the flame. You don't care about my name. If I didn't have a dime, you would care for me the same." This is somebody who knows you don't give a fuck about the superficial shit. You don't give a fuck what their account looking like. You don't give a fuck about their reputation and their past. You don't give a fuck about their fame, if they have fame or their popularity. You don't give a fuck about their reputation. Like, you see to the core of who they are. That is a gift of divine femininity. A divine feminine can see you putting on the front and be like, okay. If that's what you want to do, if that's where you at on your journey, all right. But, I'm going to treat you like who I see underneath all it. That is her gift. And so that's how you can show up being somebody's Sahara in the snow. Which the Sahara is the desert. And then when you in the snow, you want the contrast. You want the heat. You know what I'm saying? So you bring in the heat in this person's life, the passion, the energy. So let's see. Singing softer than the snow. Some of y'all might can sing, and this individual loves your voice or just likes to hear you speak. I don't know how far we go. I don't know where we begin. This is somebody who knows, like, in order to move forward with this, I got to step out into the unknown. And the way I'm feeling, fuck it. Let's do it, It goes back to "Never Felt a Love Like Yours." Your summer in November. Okay, that's the song. It just kind of repeats what we already talked about. But yeah, you summer in November, darling. Unique, a whole unicorn out here in these streets. So y'all need to listen to if you're not feeling like a unique individual, listen to Beyonce's "Unique" from the Renaissance album. I don't know what it is about that motherfucking album. The album is like crack to me. When it first came out, I went on the bandwagon. I really wasn't listening to it like everybody else. And I guess it was just a divine alignment, because I feel like at the point where I was going through my own personal renaissance, I started listening to it after everybody else had kind of chilled out on it. And I was bumping the color off that bitch. And here recently, I have started back listening to it. So if you ain't feeling like a unique individual, you ain't really in your divine feminine bag, you need to start creating you a playlist, and you need to put "Unique" by Beyonce on there. Now, if you're not a Beyonce fan and you don't like nothing she put out because she Beyonce, then scratch that thought. That slick make you a hater though. Cause be that girl. And that's something important too as divine feminines. Like, are you a girl's girl? Can you really clap for other women? You know what I'm saying? Can you root for other women, or do other women, whether you want to admit it or not, intimidate and trigger you? Be honest with yourself. I remember a time when that was the case for me. You know what I'm saying? I've always loved being in kinship and friendship with women, but I can remember specific times where my eyes was green. You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily like wanting to do something to another woman or bring her down or anything like that, but where my subconscious was triggered and I might say something negative about that person, only to realize, like, you're just saying that shit because that person has a quality that you don't feel like you have. That's some shit you ain't tapped into. You ain't been bold enough to do some shit like that. That's the only reason you really speaking on that girl like that. That type of shit. Keep it a buck with yourself, because if you can't keep it a buck with yourself, like, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all of the time. So divine feminines, that's something to keep in mind as well. Sisterhood, rooting for each other, and being a girl's girl and not a pygmy, because you either one or the other. So yeah, that's a song by Sir. We're needed to remain receptive and remain open regardless of what it's looking like on the journey at this time, because our love life is ascended to a higher level whether we are partnered or not. We're needed to reflect the love in us outwardly and take that shit to the next level. For those of you who are on the twin flame journey but you're separated or there's no contact, this is the time for you to be working on any emotional residuals that are within you, any leftover resentments or feelings or trauma from past relationships, doing that shadow work to make sure that you don't take your hurt and pain into your next connection. And that shit ain't gonna happen overnight, but you can definitely take you a spiritual bath. You can get that candle work going, prayer, of course, meditation, journaling, but do that work to release yoni steams. Sit that thing over a boiling pot of herb and let that herb draw out those impurities and the negative energy where somebody's son or feminine masculine presenting feminine or whatever has been in your womb. You know what I'm saying? You want to draw out all of that as well and do that spiritual hygiene and also do the emotional clearing as you prepare for the next leg of your journey, because it's a harvest up ahead for you, and for some of y'all right around the corner. So for those of you who know that that you in karmic connections, you really want to take the time to level your self-love game up. But I ain't talking about facials and pedicures. You know what I'm saying? We talk about therapy. We talking about examining like where you are in terms of self-respect, self-awareness. Are you that person that like people always gotta bring to your attention you know, how you showing up? People always gotta hold a mirror to you, and you can't never acknowledge and bring to the table what you know about yourself to maybe be uncomfortable or to be a benefit, to be a pro or a con. So self-awareness and self-honor. Always honor yourself. Always honor your star player. Because that is the mark of a high priestess. That is how you master your intuitive knowing and trusting your intuitive nudges. You got to be comfortable with who you are. And you got to be comfortable with the signs and synchronicities when they come to you. And you got to trust them when they come to you, whether it's dreams or license plates or songs, conversations, numbers. God speaks to us in a myriad of mysterious ways. So you got to trust that, and always trust that the grass is greener wherever you are. But it takes a certain level of esteem to believe in that wholeheartedly. Otherwise, people can do and say things externally that trigger you internally into thinking you're not that girl. Well, you are that girl. It's just a matter of you standing on business about it. So, regardless of what's going on, you gotta trust your intuition and your knowing that beneath the surface, especially when it comes to these divine masculines, the same way you're being called to do mirror work, they are as well. So what led me to that is that I was listening to Kevin Gates, and there's this song called, is it a song or an album? Let's see. See Me. And on the cover, I don't know if it's like a song cover, the single cover, or the album cover, but Kevin is looking in a mirror. And there's an image of him, hold on, in the mirror, where it's like he kind of on his grown man, standing outside the mirror, and all black, got his slippers on, jewelry on his neck. And in the mirror, it's thugging ass Kevin with the white tee and the jeans and his drawers showing and his jeans sagging and some white ones. So like it kind of give you the mind of the light and the dark, or older version and a younger version, a more evolved version, a more mature version, and a younger version. But he doing that mirror work, you know what I'm saying? And integrating that energy, because one thing for certain, two things for sure. Sometimes you need your shadow. Sometimes you need your ego. You know what I'm saying? Even if you mature and evolve beyond some shit, sometimes you need to pull it out. It's a matter of how you use it. You know what I'm saying? So like, let's just say at one point you was a hoe. And you did things sexually that you weren't always proud of. Being walking in your light don't be a hoe, but be discerning with your hold'em. You know what I'm saying? Like if you was a freak, be a freak, but be discerning with your skill or your talent, your freakiness. You know what I'm saying? You don't do it with everybody. You take that in the bedroom with your man. Now, instead of doing it with everybody, you do it one somebody. Or how, I ain't knocking what you choose to do with your lifestyle or how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just using that as an example of how you integrate your light and your dark. Or if you used to like to fight, you know what I'm saying? Like you might used to fight for dumb shit back in the day, but now fight for something worth fighting for. That's integrating your light and your dark. So I'm gonna show y'all the picture of Kevin. That's not a copyright thing, I don't think. But as you can see, he's standing there, he kinda got his slacks on, his little shirt, his jewelry, and then in the mirror, that's like I thought it was illegal. I thought what he said. I thought it was legal to beat your hoe. That version of Kevin Gates, not the feather in his hair, ceremonial, spiritual Kevin. You know what I'm saying? So reeling all that in and acknowledging your polarity and knowing that all of that is within you and it has been your experience for a reason, and doing that mirror work to affirm yourself and to integrate your light and your dark. Oh, I'm supposed to be sharing the lyrics with y'all. So Kevin says, baby, you know, we ain't never had a fair shake because I was going through the worst of the worst. You came in my life and everybody was so judgmental. You know what I'm saying? For real. I was confused, hard to trust again with all my heart's been through. They misused it, not the one you chose. You choose, I fall back from you. Heal my wounds, name and face tattoo. Can't get that removed. So before I go any further, let's dissect that a little bit. Because he says, we ain't never had a fair shake. Like this is something where it's never really been given a fair chance. And if you're not in a relationship, this is not talking to a connection or the twin flame journey. Think about the projects, the things that you started and stopped, or you never really gave a fair chance. You never really invested in it for real, for real. And it may have been because circumstances, like the timing and the circumstances didn't seem right. Because he said, I was going through the worst of the worst and you came in my life and everybody was so judgmental. So you weren't judgmental toward this person, but damn near everybody else was. Like you the one person that wasn't judgmental and was understanding. So he talks about the confusion and by way of his experience and the bitterness, it being hard to trust with all that his heart has been through, how it's been misused, and how because of that he fell back. He distanced himself, ran from the connection. Says lesson learned, they've been using you when they show gratitude, progression earned through experience, awkward avenues, free you born, let you don't conform. They have attitudes, affected form, weathered every storm, and they still mad at you. Made them feel like they opinion matter. They threw jabs at you. Also, I'm seeing 611, which speaks to mastering how you show up in connections to create harmony and balance in your relationships. Now you're ready to go jump out the plane without no parachute. Now you're ready to go jump out the plane without no parachute. Babe, I've been watching you. I better be the only one you dance for. I know you see me on the dance floor. Babe, I've been watching you. I better be the only one you dance for. Okay, I think that's the hook. So he basically said, like, I'm ready to take this leap. No parachute. What we doing? I'm ready to take this leap of faith. That's that fool energy. Packing light. Trusting God. And just jumping out there. And starting out on a new adventure. Like, I've been studying you long enough. I've been observing the scene. I've observed your character. I've observed your pattern. And let's do this. And somebody who's slick territorial. I better be the only one you dance for. I told you, y'all. to somebody, if you resonate with this reading, you are summer in November. Bae, I've been watching you, want to be on top of you. Just put your faith in me, show you what God could do. Remove every obstacle, lay on the clouds to snooze. Walking on water, now I'm making mountains smooth. Turning them obstacles into motherfucking runways. You hear me? Runways, highways, like, psh. Okay, what's this that's standing in the way? Okay, like how you want us to move around this? Because every obstacle, every mountain that you encounter, you ain't got to climb. Some of them shit you meant to find a way around. So Kevin is saying, he removing them obstacles, laying on the clouds to snooze, getting some rest, taking the route that does not stress him the fuck out. I know they hate to see the way that I rock with you. Balling on shopping sprees. Look what I got for you. I am him, his imperial majesty. This is true indeed. Suicide attempts been turned against, but this is not new to me. So this is somebody who really been through some shit. Maybe even has contemplated a time or 2 or 10 of taking their life because of the trauma that they have experienced and the betrayal. This is Ten of Swords energy. This is ego death energy. It says, no, I'm loving how exotically you make your leg move. Coming out of your designer when we in the bedroom. Brand new course in a brand new Porsche. I can't crash the coupe in Chicago. Big old cups of lean that I passed to you. Fell in love with the way I thug, way I handle you. It's something about Chicago, y'all. I don't know what the fuck it is, but there's something about Chicago. I don't know if it's because the all these states have like spiritual name meanings. A lot of them are have Native American origin. I'm gonna have to look up Chicago. I did at one point, but I'm gonna have to look it up again. Because that's significant. I go hammer, flew in from Miami. I dismantle you. We in the shower, hit you with that, whatever this is. Plaga. This dick got some power, love. Wanna be your favorite again. Okay. Next. Like back when we was lovers. So this is somebody you've already had a connection with. You've already been intimate with in some way. Or this is speaking to that past life aspect of the twin flame journey. Like back when we was lovers. It is literally saying that over and over again. So yeah, somebody's doing their work. They're doing their mirror work. And they feel like you're the only person who sees them, the real them, who sees through the facade, who sees to the core of them. You see them at their, not only their factory reset, but you see them jailbroken. You know, the factory reset is like when you wipe your phone clean of all the apps and numbers and whatnot so that you can put what you want on it. So that's like wiping away the societal conditioning and the trauma and all the shit that a person been through and how they've been influenced and have an imprint from external factors, right? Wiping all that away to have a clean start. You see to the heart of the person. But to be jailbroken, when you jailbreak a device, that's when you make it capable for you to do all kind of shit that the manufacturers didn't even want you to know was it was capable of doing. And that is exactly what an ego death and the spiritual awakening journey is like. That shit is like being jailbroken. Once you figure out all the gifts and talents that you have and how you've been societally conditioned and how that shit stifled your creative gifts and your expression and all the shit that you capable of and how limitless you are, that is equivalent to a device being jailbroken. Now you got new fonts and you got all types of cute ways that you could do shit, you know what I'm saying? Easier ways to do shit. So that is this person acknowledging like their experience with you being similar to that, how you've catalyzed their growth and their change. Another song is Teach Me How to Love by Musiq Soulchild, and also Higher by D'Angelo. Y'all, I ain't gonna say was, because I am and always have been such a D'Angelo fan. So, of course, I've been in mourning and also celebrating him by way of doing what I always do, which is listening to his music. I think I've referenced some of it on the channel. I definitely got some shit I done posted on Instagram where I've posted his music. And Higher really speaks to, let's see, helping this individual elevate, which is basically what the rest of the songs are saying. But I know y'all familiar with this one. It's one of his more popular songs. Girl, you take me higher, higher than I ever known. Give me good feelings, like a king and queen on the throne. Girl, you take me higher, higher than the stars above. See me in ecstasy, baby, with your love. So he says, feels like heaven, yeah, when I think about you, sparking that love, oh yeah, within my soul. And when I touch you, I can't describe it, sending chills down to my bones. God as my witness and watching over. We'll write our love in the stone. Please give us strength, Lord, to fight our battles, and we can walk on the streets of gold. Cause you take me higher, higher than I've ever known. Give me good feeling like a king and queen on a throne. Cause you take me higher, further than the stars above. Send me in ecstasy, baby, with your love. Tell me what you're thinking of. Yeah, must be thinking about love. Put your hands into mine, and then we'll take off to the skies above. Soft like an angel, like the feathers laying on a dove. Touch me with your soul, love, till I lose control. Just like an angel watching over me, you protect me from my fears. I once was blind, but now I see ever since the day you appeared. I just want to say I want you in my life to the day I die, baby. I just want to tell you that I love you. I just want to say I want you in my life. Okay, he gonna repeat that. All of the rest of this is a repeat, basically. But yeah, this person is grateful for how you have helped them to evolve and grow and ascend, and the divine feminine protection that you bring into their life. We always speak about the masculine energy being protective, but the feminines, we protect too. We bring divine protection with our intuitive knowing and the way that we show up and help the masculine energy feel safe to exist in this world. That is protection, and this is somebody who acknowledges that. So that is beautiful. Y'all gonna have to check out Teach Me on y'all own, even though I really want to go through the lyrics of that, and I'm gonna skip that one because I can't. It's so profound. I think I've discussed Teach Me on here before by Musiq Soulchild. Hold on. Spirit saying to go through it. Like I can't even skip it. I was told the true definition of a man was to never cry. You know how many men have been taught that the very thing that cleanses their soul, that gives them relief, that heals them, is to their detriment, makes them less of a man. Work till you tired, got to provide. Always be the rock for my fam, protect them by all means, and give you the things that you need, baby. That is performative masculinity. And a divine feminine helps a masculine understand and feel safe to take that shit off. That you are a human being, a spiritual being, having a human experience. You gonna cry sometimes. You gonna have some shit to cry about. Like your mama used to be like, shut up before I give you something to cry about. Fuck that. Life gonna give you your sacred contract. Gonna give you some shit to cry about. You better let that shit out. And the measure of a man is not how he pay bills, not how he lay pipe, not how he fix pipes. A measure of a man is not how he provides and can pay for bags and trips and bring the groceries in the house. That is not the measure of a man the same way the measure of a woman is not putting on lipstick and bouncing her ass and sucking dick and cooking and cleaning and being a mattress, a maid, and a mule. That is not the measure of a woman. We got to get away from this societal condition that tells us how we supposed to show up, and to the point where our self-worth takes a hit when we lack in some area. But it says, always be the rock for my fam. Protect them by all means and give you the things that you need, baby. Our relationship is suffering, trying to give you what I never had. You say, I don't know how to love you, baby. Well, I say, show me the way. I keep my feelings deep inside. I shadow them with my pride. I'm trying desperately, baby. Just work with me. Teach me how to love. Show me the way to surrender my heart. Girl, I'm so lost. That's that confusion again. Teach me how to love, how I can get my emotions involved. Teach me how to love. Show me the way to, okay, that's the hook. And this is someone who, again, they're new to this. What the other song said, this is my first time loving like this type shit. Yeah, they new to this. So they're gonna need your help with learning how to show up in this connection because it's something new for them, but they're willing to learn. I was always taught to be strong. Never let them think you care at all. That's survival. Let no one get close to me before you and me. I don't share things with you, girl, about my past that I never tell to anyone else. No, just keep it to myself. Girl, I know I lack affection and expressing my feelings. It took me a minute to come and admit this. But see, I'm really trying to change now. Want to love you better. Show me how. I'm trying desperately, baby. Please work with me. And then you got the hook again. Okay. So, yeah, even if this is not what the person is saying, this is what their higher self wants them to say, and this is how they feel. So, feminists, there's no reason for you to be sitting up disgruntled, jealous, bitter, upset in any way, because if your intuitive knowing says that this is really what it is, you needed to trust that the grass is green where you are, that you are there summer in November again. November may be significant for you all. I always know that if you resonate with this type shit, like, you are the oil. You are the garden. You are the sustenance. You know, oil is made from a process of extraction and pressure. And I don't know about y'all, but I know me as a divine feminine. I've been through plenty of that. I done had plenty of pressure. I done had plenty of extraction in my life. And the byproduct of that is liquid gold. And I share that because that is my calling. And I share it with who I'm called to share it with when I'm called to share it. So I pray that you are answering your calling, that you are doing the necessary to elevate yourself in terms of self-love and in your love connections. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. I hope that this harvest season is plentiful for y'all. If you are needing a personal reader, feel free to hit me at turquoisemajesty@gmail.com to book, especially if it's in person. If it's online, you're wanting a live or a recorded reading, an email reading, you can book that on my Etsy store. But yeah, y'all, I don't think I got nothing coming up worth announcing other than Chakra Talk. The next Chakra Talk session at Memphis Rocks will be on November 5th. We'll be focusing on the solar plexus chakra. So if you are local in the in Memphis or the surrounding areas, come out and commune with us. And until next time, peace.